A big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Kelly and I bought a camper van last winter, and we're both still a little too excited and giddy about it. We've taken quite a few trips in it, mostly hopping around Oregon for a weekend off the farm. It's a 1989 Ford Falcon. Every time I hear Kelly tell someone this in her Irish accent, it gives me a little chuckle and makes me proud for some reason. The plan all along has been to tear out and remodel the van, and especially after spending some time in its confined spaces, we have some ideas of things we want to do different. We want to rebuild all the cabinets and really try to use all the limited space as efficiently as possible. We want to replace the carpet with something that hopefully isn't quite as musty. Need to replace the fridge, and I'm really excited to remove the shower. Actually, I don't know if this should even be called a shower. It's just a utility sink and a hose. We would never attempt to use this thing, and so it's just wasted space, and we want to take it out.
That lens is too wide. You don't get a true appreciation for how small this thing is. Let me change it. That's a little bit better.
One thing we did really like about the van is that it has a second pull-out bed up top. Again, it's a little confined and awkward to get into, but nice to have, even if it's just for the storage. It's actually typically my go-to place for a midday nap. We decided in order to do it right, we'll basically be gutting the van, which means this is going to be a huge project. The goal is to work on it as we can during what's always a very busy summer on the farm, and hopefully get it done in time for a long road trip next fall or winter when things start to slow down. The back of the couch has this pretty cool folding mechanism that brings it down to be a bed. I'm sure that took some math and design work. I'll be reusing it, but want to rebuild the cabinet underneath it, which houses a lot of the equipment that runs the van. I was again hoping I could make a little better use of the space and get some additional storage out of it. One thing I'm a little concerned about with the remod is adding weight. This thing already gets through a gas tank pretty quick, so hopefully we won't be making it too much heavier. I buzzed over to some scales and got a weight before I started removing anything, so it'll be interesting to compare before and after. Everything in the van is pretty chintzy, which I think is partly to keep it light, and partly because it's no luxury Mercedes Sprinter.
She's a 1989 Ford Falcon with a V8 and just over 90,000 miles.
Thanks, Kelly. It was a hot day in the shop, and even Maloney was looking for ways to cool off. We thought a lot about buying just an empty cargo van to convert to a camper, especially since we planned on starting from scratch anyways. But we really liked the Falcon after checking it out, and also it seemed a little less daunting of a project in my mind, already having all the components. Seeing how they did it, and then thinking of ways to change it to what we want, sounded much easier than starting from scratch. I forgot to unhook the propane line to the fridge, which means you get a butt shot. We're going to replace the fridge with just a simple electric one that's the same size. When I got the shower tub out of the van, it looked even more ridiculously like a sink. I would not call that a shower. Kelly and I were very quick to invoke a no number 2 rule in the van. There's just no way that's fair to the other person in such a small space. Man, I don't know why someone would think it's a good idea to put carpet around a toilet. Gross. Ugh, very gross. Another cabinet I had some ideas for is a slider. It's hard to use and adds very little space, and I think I could do something better. And now I could move on to the main cabinets. But first, a quick word about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. I'm really excited to be talking about Skillshare because it's something Kelly and I have both used for a long time now. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and more. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is a perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. There's so many great courses on, I'm pretty sure, all the software you see Kelly and I using on this channel, like SketchUp, Illustrator, Premiere, Photoshop, Procreate, and even courses on CNC programming and 3D printing. Join Kelly and I and 7 million other creators learning with Skillshare. I posted a link in the description, and the first 500 people to use it get a 2-month free trial. One of the courses I highly recommend is by a local graphic designer named Aaron Draplin up in Portland. He's very entertaining to watch and super talented and really inspiring. Skillshare is a great service, and I really appreciate their support. Thanks, Skillshare. Next, I moved on to taking out the electrical system. Disconnected the battery, and then tore into the converter and breaker box. I'm hoping to replace this while I'm at it. It's looking very old and rusty. I really try to disassemble the cabinets as much as possible, so I can use them as a template to make new ones, and also so I don't damage the walls that they're attached to. But every now and then I couldn't resist getting a little rough with it. And that was the last cabinet out of there. Time for the part I was really looking forward to, ripping up the nasty carpet. Again, I was careful and kept it as one piece to use it as a template. It's kind of amazing seeing how much stuff was all crammed into the van. Looked like a lot when it was spread out on the barn floor. I gave everything a good vacuuming, and I was ready to call the tear out done. Oh man, this is going to be a big project.